Hi guys, you are welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, you're welcome. My name is Oti. I teach on how to cut and sew luxury bubu and headwear. In today's tutorial, I'll be showing you guys on how to make this beautiful luxury bubu. It is very easy to make. I used damask fabric mixed with Mikado to achieve this style. So if this is what you would love to learn how to make, please sit back, relax and enjoy the tutorial. And if you are yet to subscribe to my channel, please click the red button down below to subscribe and also click on the notification bell so that whenever I upload a new video, you will be notified. So without further ado, let's move right to the tutorial. These are the two fabrics I will be using for today's tutorial. On the table, I have with me 4 yards of damask fabric and Mikado fabric. I'm going to cut the plain fabric, the Mikado fabric, to sew lapel to the bubu. You can also use damask if you like. That means you'll be buying 5 yards of damask fabric. If you want to use the same fabric as the lapel, so it depends on your choice. This style will not have a shoulder slant because of the pleats that will start from the front bodice through to the back bodice. So this is how you will fold your fabric into 4. Next, I measured neck width 3 inches. Neck depth for the back, I measured 1.5 inches. Then I connect the neckline. Next, I impute my shoulder divided by 2, which is 8.5 inches. Then, from the 8.5 inches, I measured 6 inches for my shoulder pleats. By the time I fold it, it will be 3 inches. From that 6 inches, I now impute 12 inches for the sleeve length. As you can see, I used almost the 4 yards. That is why I said if you want to use the same fabric for the lapel, you will need 5 yards. For the sleeve opening, I measured 11 inches. I connect it into a straight line. Shoulder to my hip line is 25 inches. Then the length of my dress is 65 inches, including hemming allowance. I connect that into a straight line. Next, I impute my hip measurement divided by 4 plus 4 inches for the wideness at the lower part. Then I came in about 5 inches. There are 2 different ways you can style this bubu. From the sleeve opening, you can slant it to the hem, or you can decide to have a cow shape. Whichever one you like. First, you can decide to slant it to the hem this way, or you have a cow shape. There are different ways to draw your cow shape. I use 3 different methods. In my next tutorial, I'm going to show you guys 3 different ways to draw cow shape. Make sure to subscribe to my channel so that you will not miss the tutorial. So I'll be going with the cow shape. Next is to cut it out. You can also draft the bodies anyhow you like. It depends on your preference. After cutting, I'm going to spread it to cut the front neckline and the lapel. From the shoulder, I measured 7.5 inches for the neck depth. From the 7.5 inches, I measured 2 inches straight down. This is how I want the wideness of the lapel to be. I want it to be 2 inches wide. You can make use of any wideness of your choice. You can use 2.5 or 3 inches. It depends on your choice, but I want mine to be 2 inches wide. By the time I open it, it will be 4 inches. Then from the neck depth, I will connect it to the neck width and blend it nicely. Next is to cut it out. After cutting, the wideness will be 4 inches. I'll be needing 1/2 inch on both sides to join to the bodies, which will be 5 inches. So I'm going to cut 5 inches on the plain fabric. So after cutting, this is how it will look like. From the crease line, I know where the shoulder measurement is. So next, I'll turn it to the wrong side. I'm going to transfer my chalk to the right side of the fabric. Then I will turn it back to the right side. From the neckline to my first mark, I have 5.5 inches. Then from the 5.5 inches, I have 6 inches. I will find the midpoint of the 6 inches, which is 3 inches. Then I will chalk it. I'm going to repeat the same thing on the other side as well. Next is to mark where I want the pleat to stop. I choose to stop 30 inches from the shoulder. Then from the back bodies, I also mark 30 inches. Next is to pinch on the midpoint and start pleating. I'll pleat and stop at that 30 inches. I'll make sure that I measure the height of the pleat. It should be 3 inches. Then I'll pin it down like so. I'm going to repeat the same process on the other side as well. Please note, you can make the height of the pleat any measurement you like. You can make it to be 4 inches, 5 inches, even less than 3 inches. It depends on your preference. This is just a guideline. So after pinning, I'll take to my ironing table. I'm going to give it a good press. After ironing, you can decide to stitch it down from the 30 inches through to the 30 inches at the back, but I will not do that. I don't want the stitch line to show. I'm just going to pleat it. I'm going to sew it down around the shoulder. So from my shoulder measurement, I will measure to the front 3 inches, to the back 3 inches, then I will stitch it down 6 inches length. I'll repeat the same thing on the other side. I'll stitch it down on the shoulder only. I don't want the thread to extend to the end of the pleat. I hope you guys understand, but you can do that if you like. So this is how it looks like. So I'm going to take to my ironing table and give it a good press first before sewing it. So next to do, you are going to start measuring for the lapel. Start from the hem. You measure like so through to the neckline and to the other side. Whatever you have, make sure that you add extra 10 inches to it in order to be on the safe side. Whatever measurements you have, make sure that you add extra 10 inches to it. So I'm going to cut out the measurements that I have on this plain fabric. This is a Mikado fabric. So I'll fold it into 2. Then I'll divide my measurement into 2 as well. The measurement that I got from the lapel, I'm going to divide it into 2 because I folded this plain fabric into 2, as you can see. So I'm going to impute the measurement on the plain fabric and cut it out. The wideness is going to be 5 inches. So I first of all marked my starting line so that I'm going to have a straight edge. Then for the wideness of the lapel, I measured 5 inches. Remember that I measured 2 inches for the lapel, so when you open it up, it will be 4 inches. I'll be needing half inch on both sides to join to the bodies, which will make it 5 inches. That is why I am measuring 5 inches. After cutting, I'm going to add hair stay to it. I'm going to iron hair stay to the wrong side of the fabric. So this is all I need for the lapel. I have iron estate to it, as you can see. So I'm going to turn it to the wrong side. The folded edge is going to be my center back. I took it to my ironing table and give it a good press so that it will lay nice and flat. So from my center back, the folded edge, like I said, is going to be my center back. So from the center back, I'll measure my neck depth, where I want the neck depth to be. I want it to be 14 inches. Then from the center back, I measure where I want the front slit to start from. I want mine to start from 37 inches. Then next, I mark the midpoint, which is 2.5 inches. I mark the midpoint from the neck depth to where I want my slit to start from. Then I connect into a straight line. So after that, I'm going to take to my sewing machine. I'm going to sew on the straight line from the neck depth to where my slit will start from. I folded my bodice into two, shoulder to shoulder, then I notch the center back. I've sewn it. This is how it looks. Next, I'm going to turn it to the right side. I'm going to fold the fabric like so. Then I'll turn it to the right side and give it a good press. I have given it a good press. This is how it looks. You can see the neckline and where my slit will start from. So next, I'm going to fold the lapel into two and notch the center back. After that, I'm going to pin the lapel to the bodice before taking it to my sewing machine to sew it with 1/2 inch all through. Remember that we notch the center back of the bodice and we also notch the center back of the lapel. So you will place the two notches together and pin. You pin the lapel to the neckline till you get to the hem. Then you turn to the other side and pin the lapel to the neckline till you get to the other hem. Then you take to your sewing machine and sew 1/2 inch all through. It is better to have excess than to have shortage. I advise that whatever measurements you have from measuring the lapel, add extra 10 inches to it. If you have excess, you will trim it out. It's better to have excess than to have shortage. After pinning, this is how it looks. I've not sewn it yet. I just pinned the lapel to the bodice. So I'll take to my sewing machine and sew it. So this is how it will look in front. After sewing, you will now give it a good press. I cut out 2 pieces of fabric for the inner belt to snatch my waist. So I'm going to measure shoulder to my waistline and fix the belt. I've sewn the lapel to the bodice, though I've not ironed it yet. This is how it looks. I'm also going to overlock the edges as well. I've ironed the pleats. This is how the pleat looks, and I've also stitched it down on the shoulder. I'm still going to iron everything very well when I'm done sewing. So the next thing to do, I'm going to hem the sleeve. After that, I'm going to fold the bodice into two. I'm going to sew the sides, hem the down parts, and that's about it for today's tutorial. This is the final look, guys. As you can see, it is very easy to make. We've come to an end of today's tutorial. If you find my tutorial helpful, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel down below if you've not done so. I upload weekly tutorial on my channel. Also remember to click on the notification bell so that whenever I upload a new video, you will be notified. Until I come your way next, please stay safe and remain blessed. Thanks for watching. I love you all. Bye.